going to start off our discussions about the 5 major types of communications with written communication, really writing for business audiences. Your text provides some excellent resources that are aimed at developing your business writing skills further. While we'll touch on many of these in class, there's a lot of great stuff that we won't have time to get to that you might want to check out. Writing effectively is all about knowing 2 key things: your purpose and your audience. Your communications need to be geared toward your audience, to the people who you intend will receive your messages. Why is that important for leaders? An Ipsos Reid survey really drives home the importance of communication. In a survey of Canadian CEOs, the respondents indicated that they spend 49% of their time communicating with a variety of audiences, from external stakeholders such as investors or government, the media, and customers, to internal audiences, their own management and staff. So we're going to talk about the goals of business writing. The first is to be audience-oriented. The second requirement is to be purposeful. You're writing to solve a problem or convey information. Make sure your message meets those needs in a definite way. Thirdly, quality professional communications are indeed professional. Avoid the temptation to send messages that sound like ones you'd send to your friends, and also be aware that your work email does not belong to you. It's not private, and in many organizations can be subject to a Freedom of Information request. Don't put anything in your email that you wouldn't want to see on the front page of the newspaper. The fourth principle is to be economical. Time is one of the most precious resources in any organization, and it seems to be becoming more and more precious all the time. Remember to respect the time of your audience. These tips may sound simple enough, but they don't necessarily come easily. So when we start to think about tone, with our audiences in mind, one of the first things we need to think about is the tone of our communication. So who is your audience? What are your personal and professional relationships with them? What position does that person hold in the organization? How much do they know about the subject? What do you know about their beliefs, cultures, or attitudes? What kind of response to your message do you think you might receive from them? Would it be neutral, positive, or negative? Is there a secondary audience? Do they need more background information? Once you've profiled your audience, you'll be able to shape a stronger message. So tone is conveyed largely by the words that are chosen for the message. This is a key influencer of how the receiver feels when they read or hear your message. A positive tone can be created using a number of techniques that many people provide little to or no thought about. These include spotlighting benefits for the audience, and this is critical for leadership communications with your staff. Studies indicate that people want to know first what's in it for them. If you can satisfy that need early, they'll keep their ears and eyes open. The easiest way to do this is to put yourself in the receiver's shoes in order to create an empathetic message. The next thing to know is about language. By knowing your audience, you'll know what kind of language is appropriate, whether it means that you can use specialized technical terms or carefully spelling them out in plain language. The third component to know about your audience is the channel that you need to use. So there's a theory called media richness theory that describes the extent to which a channel can represent the information that may be available. For example, a face-to-face conversation is the richest medium of all. It permits the people that are taking part to be interactive. You can get immediate feedback, you can read body language, etc. It also enables the sender to be able to tailor their message. A less rich medium would be a news story or a proposal that's given that's a flat, one way, my way kind of way to communicate. Choosing an appropriate channel depends on the importance of the message, whether feedback's required, or whether there's a need for a permanent record. It also depends on the cost, the level of formality that's needed, and the best practices of your organization. Another important thing to think about is how your receiver is going to feel. A rule of thumb is to strive for a conversational expression, but remember, be professional. There's a difference between conversational and casual. While there's creeping texting language entering into email, it's best to avoid it completely. Save the LOLing for your friends outside of work. And by the way, I worked with somebody the other day who thought LOL stood for lots of love. It's created a lot of confusion in our workplace. Your goal is to have a warm, friendly tone that sounds professional. Avoid long, complex sentences. Convoluted language doesn't make you sound more intelligent. And avoid third-party references such as the undersigned or the writer. Finally, avoid jargon. Write to express your ideas, not to impress others. Bloated language in various areas have been given terms: bureaucraties, federalese, legalese, doublespeak. And even if some of this stuff wasn't meant to mask meaning, the audience members may think that it has been. So here are a few pointers. There's a lot more in the text. Use an active voice with strong verbs. Don't be afraid of personal pronouns. Explain abstract terms. Omit superfluous words. I really mean it. Use a positive expression and use short sentences. There's a great piece from the BBC of all places on jargon, and we'll attach the link for you.